Hi, welcome. Here's your Go Math lesson for today. Today we are focusing on borrowing money and what it means to borrow money. This is section 20.4 in your Go Math books. What does it mean to borrow money? If I went to my brother and I said, hey brother, I really want to buy these shoes. They're so cute. I love them so much. They cost $20. I only have 15. Can I borrow 5? What does that mean? Who can tell me what that means? What does that mean, Rena? Okay. Good job. Someone will give it to you, but you have to give it back. Wait, what? Like they give it to you and then you give it back? That doesn't make sense. No, they give it to you. You use it. You buy your shoes. You're happy. Woohoo. When you get $5 back through working, through whatever way you get your money, then you have to pay it back to your brother. So when you borrow something, it doesn't mean that you're taking it forever. It means you're going to use it and then give it back when you have it. You can also borrow different things other than money. What else could we borrow? Raise your hand. What else could we borrow, Leah? Toys. Very good. We can borrow toys. What else can we buy, Rena? Borrow. Huh? We can borrow glue. You use the glue and then you give it back. If I say, can I borrow your glue? It doesn't mean can I keep it? Can I put it in my desk, keep it forever? No. Can I use it and I'll give it back to you? To borrow. Very good. What are some things you cannot borrow? Like you just can't. There's one thing I'm thinking about. Food. You can't borrow food. That's gross. Right? Unless you borrow like sugar and then you use it and then you buy a different kind of sugar and give it back, then that's different. Anyway, that's a little off topic. Moving on. Show the addition or subtraction for each problem. Read the problem and solve the amount. Let's read the problem. Jackson has $28 in the bank. He makes a deposit of $3. Highlight the word deposit. So class? Yes. Deposit. Withdraw. Deposit. Withdraw. Deposit. When you deposit money, you put it. When you withdraw, you take it. If it says deposit, we will add. If it says withdraw, we will subtract. Very good. So I want you to go ahead and solve the first two, Jackson and Lynn. Do the same thing. Lynn has $23 in the bank. She makes a withdraw, highlight the word withdraw, of $3. Solve how much money they have in the bank, please. Go ahead and pause the video now. Now that you've had some time to do it on your own, let's go over what you did. 28 and then deposit means add. What's 28 plus 3, class? 31. Huh? I'm sorry? 31. Very good. 31. Yes, 31. Very good. Because 8 plus 3 is 11, and then bring the 1 over. 1 plus 2 is 3. So that's $31. Miss Yusuf, do I have to write the dollar sign? Yes, you do. What is that? That's a dollar sign. All right, let's look here. 23, withdraw means what? Take away 3 equals what? 20. So she now has how much? $20. In the bank. Boom, boom, cha-ching. $20 in the bank. All right, moving on. Sometimes people borrow money when they need more money than they have. Brian has 45 cents. He wants to buy a pen that costs 85 cents. How much more money does he need to borrow? Circle the numbers. Underline the question. You can highlight instead of box. Highlight what the keyword is. How much more? When it says how much money does he need to borrow? That's fine. You don't have to highlight or box anything. When it says how much money does he need to borrow, he has 85, the thing costs 85 cents. He has 45 cents. What am I going to do to solve that? Subtract. What's 5 take away 5?
0.
What's 8 take away 4?
4, because that's a double.
4. Very good. So how much does he need to borrow?
40 cents.
40 cents. Make sure you write the cent sign, because if you don't, I will assume it's dollars, and that would definitely be wrong. When you borrow from someone, you plan to give it back to them later. If they say you can have it, like this, so you're giving something to someone, that means you take it forever. Sometimes, I'll tell you a true story. When I was a kid, me and one of my good friends got in a fight. It was really funny. We were in Chuck E. Cheese, and yes, Chuck E. Cheese existed when I was your age. And we had played, and got a whole bunch of tickets, and everybody, you know, put their tickets in the machine, and we went to go get our prizes. And then I got a cool, I think it was like a slime, yeah, I'll never forget it. I was like your age, and I still remember. It was like a slime little container. It had slime in it, and I think she got a lousy old ball. It was like one of those bean balls. It wasn't even a bouncy ball. Anyway, because I played harder than she did, so I got the cooler prize. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, she's like, oh, can I borrow? She didn't say, can I have? She said, can I borrow your toy? I was like, okay. She was younger than me, a little bit, like 2 years. She's like, can I borrow your toy? I'm like, okay, sure. So I let her borrow it, and then when I asked for it back, she wouldn't give it to me. She said, you said I could have it. I was like, no, I didn't. I said, you could borrow it. She didn't know what borrow meant. She said, well, no, it's mine. I said, no, it's not. She said, yes, it is. And then she started crying. And then you guys can guess what happened next.
What?
She went to her mom and cried to her mom, Mama, Nora wants to take my toy. And then I was like, it's not even your toy. And yeah, so anyway, it's something I remember. But now that I think about it, as I'm older, she didn't know what borrow meant. So when you borrow something, you give it back. If you say you can have it or you're giving something, then it's theirs. So you don't get it back. It's gone. And here's a life lesson. Whenever you say, I'm going to give you this, think about it really hard before you say that. Because after you give it to them, you cannot take it back. You've already gave it to them. Even if you change your mind. Sorry, should have thought about it before you said that. Okay? It's a hard lesson in life. Let's move on. Wendy has 75 cents. She wants to buy a snack that costs 90 cents. How much money does she need to borrow? So she has 75. She wants to buy a snack that's 90. What am I going to do to solve this problem? What? Subtract. Why would I add? I want to buy something that's 90 cents. I only have 75. I want to know how much more money I need to get that snack. Why would I add? It doesn't make sense. You have to subtract so you can find out how much more money you need, okay? So go ahead and subtract this amount. Pause the video now. Okay, let's see how you did. So she wanted the snack that was 90 cents. She had 75 cents. How much more money does she need to borrow? So 0 take away 5. Can you do that? No. 9 becomes an 8 and 0 becomes 15. What is 15? Becomes 10. What is 10 take away 5, class? 5. What's 8 take away 7, class? 1. So how much money does she need to borrow? 15 cents. If you wrote 15 and moved on, it's wrong. You have to write the cent sign, okay? Another way to write 15 cents would be $0.15. So these are two different ways to write 15 cents. You can write it this way or this way. It doesn't matter. 2. Carl has $4. He wants to buy a book that costs $6. How much money does he need to borrow? The book costs $6. He has $4. How much money does he need to borrow? What is it, class? $2. Easy schmeezy lemon. How many of you guys have done this kind of math in your head? Like you were going to use money from your bank account or from your piggy bank? Some people do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, some people do. Anyway, that's not my point. My point is you're borrowing money. You have change at home to buy gum when you go to the store. And you don't have enough because you didn't think about the taxes. Okay? Oh, no, Mom, I didn't get enough money. Or you have money and you need to what?
Borrow.
Or you want to see if you have enough or you're going to need to borrow, right? So you would subtract the amount of the item from how much you have to see how much you need to borrow. Do you understand that? Okay. 3, Molly shares her snack with Ted. She shares the snack with Ted. Is this an example of borrowing?
No.
Raise your hand. I'm going to read it one more time. Think very hard before you answer it. Molly shares her snack with Ted. I'm Molly. Rena's Ted. I share my snack with Ted. Is this an example of borrowing?
No.
Why not, Dominic? Why not, Dustin?
Oh, you're sharing.
You're sharing. So, but why not? Why is this not the same as borrowing? What does it mean to borrow? To give it back. And if you're sharing something, are you going to give it back?
No.
Especially a snack. Maybe markers or something, yeah. But a snack, if you're sharing it and they already ate half of that snack, are you going to throw it back up and give it to them? No, that's disgusting. No. Molly shares her snack with Ted. This is not an example of borrowing because Molly she's not going to ask for her snack back from Ted, right? She's giving it to him. She's not letting him borrow it. That's what I just explained a minute ago with the example of me and my friend at Chuck E. Cheese. Okay? So your answer is what? No. Why not? Because, very good, because she doesn't plan to get it back, right? Because she is giving him part of the snack. She does not want it back. So write that down in your own words. No, because you say it in your own words. Go ahead and write that down. Pause the video now. The next question says, describe an example of when you borrowed something. So write about a time here when you borrowed something from someone. Okay, when you borrowed something from someone. So go ahead and do that for number 4. And again, pause the video now. All right, Gino, now that you're done, let's move on. Gino has 63 cents. He wants to buy a puzzle that costs 95 cents. How much money does he need to borrow? So how much money does he need to borrow? What am I going to do to solve that, class? Very good. 95 minus 63. 5 take away 3 is, and 9 take away 6 is. So what's my answer? 32 cents. Yes, Miss Rena. No, that says 32, but my pen didn't. It was the mistake. I'm sorry. All right, moving on. Use the information to solve. Jenna has $5 today. She can earn $2 each week by helping her mom. How many of you guys help your parents around the house and you get money for it? Okay. How many of you guys work or do something, not all the time, but maybe once a year? You do something that you normally don't do. Obviously, cleaning your room is your responsibility. You need to do that. But other things like maybe washing your dad's car, maybe you get extra money for that. Maybe mowing the lawn if you know how to do that. I don't know. Maybe specific, I'll wait. Or special things that you do in order to get paid money. All right, well, let's talk about, since no one gets paid, let's go ahead and move on. Jenna has $5. I'll wait. Jenna has $5 today. She can earn $2 each week by helping her mom. Look at the list of 4 choices. Which choice is an example of a good reason for Jenna to borrow money? Now, we're looking for the good reason. Buy a toy that costs $35. Okay, hold on. Jenna has $5 today. She can earn $2 each week by helping her mom. Look at the list of 4 choices. Which choice is an example of a good reason? Okay. Buy a book that costs $6. Okay. Buy a game that costs $30. Buy a gift that costs $8?
Maybe.
Okay, but is it a good reason to borrow? What's a good example, a reason to borrow money? Is it a good reason to borrow money to buy a toy? No, a toy is not a need. What about a book? Yes, you need to learn. How about a game? No, although they're fun, you don't need it. How about a gift? No, although that's nice, you don't need it. But what you do need is a book. So, which example is an example, which choice is an example of a good reason to borrow money? To buy a book. Also, to buy a book, how much does the book cost? It's only $6. Doesn't she already have 5? Yeah, she already has 5. So how much more does she need to borrow? 1. Isn't it going to be easy for her to pay back $1? Yeah, it's going to be much easier to pay back $1 than to pay back $20. That's going to take you forever, especially if you only get paid $2 a week. You're trying to think of the fastest way to pay the person back. When you borrow money from anyone, you don't want to keep borrowing for a long time. As soon as you have that money, you need to pay it back. Okay? So this is about making smart choices. It's also about choosing the difference between needs and wants. So it would be a good example for Jenna to borrow money to buy a book because she will be able to pay her back quickly. Right? She can pay her back next week. She gets paid $2 a week. So go ahead and write that down now. If you need some time, pause the video now. Let's talk about the next question. Excuse me. It says, which of the 4 choices might be a bad reason for Jenna to borrow money? What would be a bad reason for Jenna to borrow money? Dominic. Okay. Which, the game or the video or the toy? The toy. Why? Who said toy? Raise your hand. And Mariah, why would the toy be a bad choice for her to borrow money? Okay, but when you compare it to everything else in the list, it's... Okay, listen, the next time you call out without raising your hand, you're going to have laps. Do you understand? Give people a chance to think. Now, why the toy? Because it costs the most. And again, as I said, you always want to think about how you're going to pay it back. If you borrow money, you need to start thinking about how you're going to pay it back before you borrow it. You can't borrow a lot of money and you know it's going to take so long for you to pay it back, right? So the toy costs the most. So which of the 4 choices might be a bad reason for Jenna to borrow money? It would be the toy. Why? Because it costs the most and it will take her a long time to pay back. So it's the toy because it costs the most and it will take a long time to pay her back. Write that down and pause the video now. All right, this leads us to our next question. How long would it take Jenna to earn enough money to pay it back? So to pay back what she borrowed, what did we say would be a bad choice? The toy, right? If she only has $5 and the toy costs $35, how much money would she borrow? 30, right? Because the toy costs $35 and she has $5, so she would borrow $30. That's a lot of money to be borrowing. Now, how much does she get paid each week? She gets paid $2 each week. So how long will it take her? How many weeks will it take her to pay back $30 if she only gets paid 2 each week? Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. How long will it take her to pay her back?
3 weeks.
15 weeks. It will take 15 weeks to pay back the $30 you borrowed. Wow, that is way too long. I don't know about you, but if somebody said they wanted to borrow money from me and they're going to pay me back in 15 weeks, I would say, no way, Jose. That is way too long. Okay? All right. Let's see. Wesley wants to buy a game. That's easy. You're going to do that on your own. Number 9, describe 2 examples of borrowing. On number 9, you're going to tell me 2 times that you borrowed something. Number 10, it says read the example of borrowing. Circle the good examples. Draw a line through the bad examples. That should be, let's do that one together. Draw a line through the bad examples. Borrowing a pencil and giving it back broken. Is that a good or bad?
Bad.
That's bad. Let's draw a line through it. You don't want to if you borrow something, you want to give it to them in the condition they gave it to you or in a better condition. You don't ever give it to them in a worse condition. You can cross that out. Borrowing a book and giving it back a few days later.
No.
Is that a good or bad?
Bad.
Why?
How did it take you forever?
A few days is not forever. That's a few days. That's like 2 or 3 days. Is that forever?
No.
No. That would be a good choice.
That wouldn't.
Go ahead and circle it. Borrowing an amount of money that will take a very long time to pay back.
No.
No. That's a bad one. Cross that out. Borrowing $1 and paying it back the next day. Yes, because it's a small amount of money. $1 is not a lot of money. And you're going to give it back the next day. Borrowing a scarf and washing it before you return it. Yes, remember I said you always, if you borrow something, you give it to them in the better condition than they gave it to you or in the same. If you borrowed some kind of clothing that goes on your body, you want to get, it's normal. We all sweat, even if you're not working out, even if you're not playing, even if you're sitting down all day, your body's going to let out some kind of sweat. So you want to wash it before you give it back. That's a good example. Number 11 is easy. You're going to do page 724 to 726 on your own. If you have any questions, let me know. Have fun learning math, and I'll see you later. Bye.